The only times throughout history where progress has been made is when there is what we are calling a revolution, or where there is an uprising. You get to a space in time where you want to act out because you don't feel like speaking is working. And you've seen this happen for generation over generation. You heard the stories from your grandmother, you heard the stories from your mother, and now you're telling, and your friends are talking about the stories, what's happening now. How do we change the hope for tomorrow? How do we engage, and really in a way that's kind of saying we're going to transition from this date to this date, as opposed to thinking that it's going to stop overnight, even if laws are passed. The NFL now being up in arms and supporting us in ways that they never did. But when Cal Kaepernick just wanted to put a knee down, it was the biggest thing. And now everyone is willing to put a knee down. But this happened 4 years ago. Our efforts today, we may not even see it until another 3 years from now. Sometimes you need that one person that's going to step out and go against the grain to get two, to get three. This is no doubt, in my time, one of the most strongest feelings I've ever seen come out of the U.S., not only just from my community, but from communities all around. I'd rather ride this wave and create more additional change for this than to wait for another reactionary period to come down the line 4 years from now. I'm not sure if what we're doing today will change racism, but I do know that states like Minnesota are doing something that states nowhere in our land has ever done before, right? And so that's the first step. I think the best thing that we're getting out of this is that we're actually starting to understand how to activate. What we are doing now, how we are protesting, how we are engaging, how we are collectively coming together, how we are creating hashtags to gain over 25 million impressions and images, whether all Black screens or not. We still have the capability to do that. And so we do have the support, and there's other ways that we can come together and we can make movement happen. We can impact change. I'm more passionate about how do I take this leverage and make it consistent? How do I make this a thing for all schools from age 6 up into high school, that this is a part of curriculum? So you change the mindset of the future by planting the seeds early, and make sure while we plant the seeds, we come back and we water it and we keep the conversation going. Me as a Black man, my agenda is to ensure that anyone who's around me does and is able to reach their full potential, right? Regardless of where you come from. How can I Kaepernick myself up to another situation? How do I stand fast in this experience, whether it did me well or not? But how do I carry this and I continue pushing it? I feel like community outreach and local community centers are an important start. Being active in the community, voting within my community, making the conscious effort to vote in the town where I reside, even though I'm away for a couple of years. Petitioning on the smallest levels enacts greater change. Organizing Black economy that supports. Investing in Black banks. There's nothing worse when you're not financially literate and you're still dealing with injustice from a systemic and a system standpoint. You know, if you have a great idea, start it. If you need to understand what business to start, understand what affects it and what your community wants the most out of, and create for your community. Those are just some small, basic things that we can do. I want to take what I've learned these last few months outside of COVID and hit the ground running and be impactful immediately, right? I don't care if it's a shirt at a time. I don't care if it's a conversation at a time, but my conversation is not for the government right now. I need to rally and bring my people together.